Nigeria is a country of 923,768 square kilometers with 525 native languages, with a whopping estimated population of 220 million citizens. 35.1 million out of the 220 million persons are living with one physical challenge or another. These span from vision impairment to cognitive area, mobility, hearing, and self-help incapability. According to World Health Organization Disability Report, about 15.9% of Nigeria's population have at least one disability. Many of them are facing a number of human rights abuses, including stigmatization, discrimination, violence, and lack of access to healthcare, housing, education, and easy access to public transportation. These people with disability are most often left without any form of protection from the legal arena or are not actively pursued to a conclusive end when their rights are trampled upon. A vacuum is created as this hampers the level of inclusiveness as expected of a civilized society. Governments all over the world takes the welfare of people with disability seriously, that special laws are enacted for the purpose of enhancing their protection and inclusiveness. The American with Disability Act, ADA, prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability in employment, state and local government, public accommodation, commercial facilities, transportation, and telecommunication. This also applies to the United States Congress. Also, in the United Kingdom, a parliamentary act passed in 1995 made it unlawful to discriminate against people in respect of their disabilities in relation to employment, the provision of goods and services, education, and transportation. Also in the United Kingdom, a parliamentary act passed in 1995 made it unlawful to discriminate against people in respect of their disabilities in relation to employment, the provision of goods and services, education, and transportation. Nigeria ratified the United Nations President Convention on the Rights of People with Disability, CRPD, in 2007 and its optional protocol in 2010. Since then, civil society groups and people with disability have called on the government to put it into practice. In 2011 and 2015, the National Assembly passed the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Bill, but it wasn't signed into law. Again, the bill for the new law was passed by the House of Representatives and the Senate Joint Committee in November 2016, but was not sent to the then President Buhari for his signature until December 2018. On the 23rd of January 2019, 5 days after hundreds of people protested, Nigeria's Muhammadu Buhari signed into law the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018, including fine and prison sentences for those who contravene it. It stipulates a 5-year transitional period of modifying public buildings, structures, and automobile to make them accessible and usable for people with disability. The law also established a National Commission for Persons with Disability, responsible for ensuring that people with disability have access to housing, education, and healthcare. The Commission will be empowered to receive complaints of rights violations and support victims to make legal redress amongst other duties. The enactment of Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act is only a first step in the fulfillment of Nigeria's obligation under the CRPD. This also is in tandem with the Renewed Hope Agenda and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDG), which is aimed at leaving no one behind in every sector of human endeavor. Part 1: Prohibition of Discrimination and Awareness Programs. 1. A person with disability shall not be discriminated against on the ground of his disability by any person or institution in any manner or circumstances. 2. A person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to, if the person is a body corporate, a fine of 1 million naira, and b. an individual, a fine of 100,000 naira or 6 months imprisonment, or both. Part 2: Accessibility of Physical Structure. This section states that a person with disability has the right to access physical environment and building on an equal basis with others. 4. A public building shall be constructed with the necessary accessibility aids such as lifts where necessary, ramps, and any other facility that shall make them accessible to and usable by persons with disability. 5. Road works, pedestrian crossing, and all other special facility as set out in the first schedule made for public use shall be made accessible to and usable by persons with disability, including those on wheelchair and the visually impaired. Part 3: Road Transportation. 1. A person who, whether for payment or not, provides goods and services or makes facilities available shall not discriminate against another person with disability by a. refusing to provide those goods or services or make those facilities available to him, b. the terms and conditions on which the provider provides those goods or services or makes those facilities available to him, or c. the manner in which the provider provides those goods or services or makes those facilities available to him. 10 subsection 1. Government transportation services provider shall make provisions for lifts, ramps, and other accessibility aids to enhance the accessibility of the vehicle, parks, and bus stops to persons with disability, including those on wheelchairs. Subsection 2. Every public vehicle shall have functional, audible, and visual display of their destination within 5 years from the commencement of this Act. Seaports, railways, and airport facilities. 13 subsection 1. Seaports facilities and vessels shall be made accessible to persons with disability. 2. Railway stations, trains, and facilities in the train shall be made accessible to persons with disability. 3. The transitory provision contained in Section 6 shall apply to all the provisions of this section. 14 subsection 1. All airlines operating in Nigeria shall, A. Ensure the accessibility of their aircraft to persons with disability. B. Make available presentable and functional wheelchairs for the conveyance of persons with disability who need them to and fro the aircraft. C. Ensure that persons with disability are assisted to get on and off board in safety and reasonable comfort. And D. Ensure that the persons with disability are accorded priority in boarding and disembarking from the aircraft. Part 5. Liberty, right to education, health and first consideration in queues, accommodation and in emergencies. 16. Subsection 1. A person shall not 1. Employ, use or involve a person with disability in begging. B. Parade persons with disability in the public with the intention to solicit for alms. Or C. Use the condition of disability as a guise for the purpose of begging in public. 2. Persons who contravene subsection 1 commit an offense and is liable on conviction to the fine of 100,000 naira or a 6-month term imprisonment or both. Opportunity for employment and participation in politics and in public life. 28. Subsection 1. A person with disability has the right to work on an equal basis with others, and this includes the right to opportunity to gain a living by work freely chosen or accepted in a labor market and work environment that is open. 2. A person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to the nominal damages of a minimum of 250,000 naira payable to the affected person with disability. 3. Where a company contravenes subsection 1, A. The company commits an offense and is liable to nominal damages of a minimum of 500,000 naira payable to the affected person with disability. And B. Any principal officer of the company involved in the violation is liable to 50,000 naira damages payable to the affected person with disability. Part 7. Establishment of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. 31. Subsection 1. There is established the National Commission for Persons with Disability, in this act referred to as the Commission, to be placed under the Presidency. The Commission A. is a body corporate with 1. Perpetual succession, 2. A common seal, and B. May sue or be sued in its corporate name, and C. May acquire, hold, and dispose property, movable or immovable. 3. The head office of the Commission shall be in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Appointment and duties of the Executive Secretary and other staff. 40. Subsection 1. There shall be an Executive Secretary for the Commission who shall A. have such qualification and experience as appropriate for a person required to perform this function, be responsible to the Council for the execution of policies and administration of the daily affairs of the Commission. 41. The Council shall appoint for the Commission such number of employees. Part 9. Miscellaneous provisions states that 52. A notice, summons, and other documents required or authorized to be served upon the Commission under the provision of this Act, any other law or enactment may be served by delivering it to the Executive Secretary or by sending it by registered post and addressing it to the Executive Secretary at the head of the Commission. Part 10. Interpretation. This part handles everything that has to do with interpretation of terminologies used throughout this Act.